Casey and John Williams. WTVY's News 4 at 6. From your hometown news leader, this is WTVY's News 4 at noon.
An attack and robbery of an elderly couple at a park has police looking for a Wiregrass man. The continued search is your top story this Thursday, December 3rd, 1998. Hello, everyone. I'm Reginald Jones. Thank you for joining us for News 4 at noon. The search continues today for a Wiregrass man suspected of beating and robbing an elderly couple in southwest Georgia. One man has already been arrested. The incident happened a month ago at Cohelee Creek Park between Columbia and Blakely, Georgia. Wilburn Pines had both arms and one leg broken by two men. His 71-year-old wife was also injured. 18-year-old Christopher Lee Jordan of Slocum is charged with robbery and aggravated battery. He's being held on an unrelated charge in the Houston County Jail.
Recently, and he gave an admission about the robbery and the assault, and identified David Pointer as the person that was at the site.
Now, warrants have been issued for Pointer. Authorities will pay for information that leads to an arrest. You should contact the nearest law enforcement agency or the Early County Sheriff's Office. Two Montgomery men are in jail today charged in the robbery of a Millbrook bank. The men, 22 and 18, were taken into custody yesterday in connection with the holdup of the People's Bank and Trust Company in Millbrook. No one was injured in the robbery, in which an undisclosed amount of money was taken. The suspects face a bond hearing tomorrow. In Minneapolis, police don't know who tried to stick up a city bus over the weekend, but they do know what he looks and sounds like. The bus had pulled to a stop when suddenly a man armed with a gun pointed his weapon at the driver, demanding money. Frightened passengers, including several young children, scrambled to safety in the back of the bus. Today, the armed robber is still on the loose. Police say this kind of violence is very rare on metro buses because about 40% of them now have cameras on board. Commuter traffic was snarled this morning in Boston because firefighters were battling a 9-alarm fire. The fire, which broke out around 6 this morning on the 4th floor of a 7-story building, tied up traffic on nearby streets as well as on a major commute route in and out of the city. About 200 firefighters battled the blaze, which remains under investigation. An overnight fire at a Manila orphanage in the Philippines killed 28 people, most of them children. At least 70 people may have been inside when the fire began. According to some of the orphanage's staff members, the fire burned so quickly that they didn't have time to rescue many of the children. Most of those who survived were sleeping on the ground floor. Workers at the orphanage say some of those who died couldn't get out because the exit doors were padlocked. Officials say the fire may have been caused by faulty electrical wiring, but the fire does remain under investigation. Alabama school prayer issue returns to federal court today. State Attorney General Bill Pryor is today asking the U.S. Court of Appeals to overturn parts of a federal court order. That order restricts school prayer in DeKalb County. The court order was issued in the case of Chandler versus James. Two deputy attorneys general are presenting the state's oral argument today in Montgomery. President Clinton and others have promoted the idea of charter schools as alternatives to traditional public schools. But a new study says they're not living up to the claims of supporters. The UCLA researchers find that most charter schools don't have ways to measure whether students are doing better. Charter schools created by teachers, community members, or parents are free of most state laws and regulations. The 6-member crew of the Space Shuttle Endeavour leave the craft after the launch was scrubbed early this morning. There was an alarm failure shortly before the scheduled blast-off. Now, engineers were able to fix the problem, but not in time for today's brief launch window. NASA says if there aren't any problems, Endeavour may be launched early tomorrow. Endeavour is scheduled to carry the second component to the International Space Station. Once in space, the crew will attach the component to Zarya. That's the Russian module that's already in space. That is a quick look at news. Let's get our first check of weather from Jeff Sanders, who's in the Power Doppler 4 Storm Center. Good afternoon, Jeff.
Good afternoon to you, Reginald. Well, it's been somewhat of a warm last couple of days. In fact, I guess a warm last couple of weeks. That could be changing in the extended forecast. I'll show that to you coming up. First, as we go to break, here's your current conditions.
hometown news leader. This is WTVY's News 4 at noon with Reginald Jones. And from the Power Doppler 4 Storm Center, Mitch English.
The Hertz holiday celebration is now in progress. At Hertz Car Sales, Santa can satisfy your family's transportation needs with a like new late model, low mileage car, truck, van, or utility vehicle from our large on-lot inventory. Buy a 97 Honda Accord with automatic transmission, air conditioning, cruise control, and more starting at only $14,990. Or a 97 Toyota Camry with power equipment and dual airbags as low as $14,980. Or a 97 Chevrolet Cavalier for only $99.95. Get factory warranty remaining, the famous Hertz powertrain warranty, financing assistance, and top dollar for your trade-in during the holiday celebration sale only at Hertz Car Sales across from the Dothan Airport.
Barrow's Furniture at 109 East Lee Street is moving. That's right, our building has been sold, so we will consolidate our business at our Rucker Boulevard, Enterprise, and Dothan locations. In order to make room, we must liquidate as much inventory as possible in all 3 locations. Living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, sofas, recliners, and much more. We'd rather sell it than move it. So bring your trucks, trailers, or vans and take advantage of the lowest prices ever offered by Barrow. Hurry in now for best selection. Don't miss our gigantic $2 million moving sale now in progress at our downtown and Rucker Boulevard locations in Enterprise and Reed Street in Dothan.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Ziegler Jumbos. For over 70 years, a tradition of great taste.
And welcome back, everyone. Hey, it's Thursday, just a day or so away from the weekend. And the weekend, is it going to rain? Some people have been asking me that. Well, I think we're going to be okay for the weekend itself, but then we'll see some showers moving in here maybe late Sunday night into the day on Monday. More about that later. Let's take a look at what's happening right now as far as around the tri-state region. 73 in Montgomery, 76 in Troy, 70s pretty much everywhere. A little bit cooler in Panama City. They're seeing one of those sea breeze fronts, or not the sea breeze front, but a sea breeze moving. Partly cloudy for today is your forecast and warm, a high reaching 80 degrees. Well, let's fly through, starting on the west coast where there's plenty of rain. In fact, record rainfall in the last couple of days. And then we move through the central plains, through parts of Texas. Yes, we're seeing some rain in Texas. Could that be affecting our forecast soon? Well, it very well could be doing that. As you see, very dry and very warm here in the southeast. We'll look at the regional satellite review, and you can see what's happening. Notice the clouds stretching into parts of Texas, back up into Oklahoma, back into Arkansas and Missouri. That is the rain that is along a storm system that is beginning to move our way. Notice behind it, not a whole lot happening. So the storm, it could fall apart. There is still that chance. These last couple of storms we've been seeing moving through the area, not much has happened to them. But if this keeps its act together, then it could bring us some showers in here. We do need to see the rain. We're very dry. It hasn't rained very much lately, and also could cool the temperatures down once it moves through as well. Notice now the showers beginning to stretch in parts of the northern area of Texas. Over the next 24 hours, the storm system will begin to move off. Notice high pressure has been in control the last couple of days. That will remain that way, and will finally begin to give way a little bit as the storm system moves in, and hopefully we'll see some of those rain showers kick in here by the time we move into the first part of next week. Partly cloudy for tonight, some fog late, a low of 58. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, still warm, another 80 degrees for the high tomorrow. Take a look at the 5-day forecast and notice, well, there's some showers, believe it or not, there, Reg, and a lot of people want to see it and want to see some cooler temperatures. As you notice on Tuesday, we drop back down in the low 70s, but overnight lows in the mid to upper 40s.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Well, as we told you at the outset of the newscast, the school prayer issue for Alabama is back in the courts today. Coming up later on News 4, find out what happened during today's court proceedings.
Also, a new telecommunications company will be opening an office in the Wiregrass, creating 300 new jobs. More about that later.
And it's taken a Wiregrass couple 3 years to make a Christmas display. See their finished product today on News 4. That is News 4 at noon. Thank you for joining us.
To find out what's happening in your hometown, do join us for News 4 at 5 and 6. I'm Jeff Sanders.
I'm Reginald Jones. I'll be back at 5. Gene Ragan and the Farm Report is next. Have a great day, everybody.
So many preparations for the holiday celebrations. While you're at the marketplace, turkey fixings and cranberry sauce, a gift certificate for the boss, Christmas cards and ribbons too. Getting done all you have to do. So many ways for the holidays. While you're at the marketplace, Winn-Dixie Marketplace. Happy holidays from Winn-Dixie.
You're on your way home to a husband, 3 kids, and 2 sets of in-laws. Now, it's your choice. Hours in the kitchen or just a few minutes at Great Things. A wonderful selection of pre-prepared meals, unique specialty food items, and even a place for a delicious lunch. Now, while you're there, visit a new Dothan tradition, Mulberry Lane, with gifts for men and women that are unique in Dothan. Artists from around the country and around the world working in ceramics, tiles, metals, and fabrics. A world of great gifts all inside a cozy place called Mulberry Lane.
Check out News 4 online at WTVY.com. Internet services provided by Snow Hill Enterprises.
And now it's time for America's longest-running agricultural program, the Noon Farm Report with Gene Ragan.
Good afternoon. We open the Noon Report, of course, with a home and garden tip. Mr. Alan Isley here today from the Georgia Forestry Commission. And Alan, there's some precautions and thoughts that we need to express before we plant trees in our yard.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of folks like to plant during the spring and summer times. But you know, trees do well at this time when you plant them, but they're really not best for them because when you put them out there, you're disturbing the roots. The trees are having to establish themselves during what is normally a dry time of the year. And we like to encourage landowners to plant during the early fall and winter months. This is your best time to plant trees outside as well as shrubs. You know, we always like for landowners to try to, if they can, to get the trees in the ground when they're dormant. Reason why this benefits the trees is the roots will actually grow some during the winter months, and they'll be better established come spring, and will take a drought or any dry weather a lot better, and they can get started growing instead of trying to get established in early spring.
We thank you for our home and garden tip for today, Mr. Alan Isley. We'll be right back with the farm news, and Mr. Isley will return in our guest section. From John Deere, an exciting idea in two-way plows at Henry Farm Center, Abbeville, Dothan, and Brundage, your John Deere dealers. Featuring only one set of bidirectional bottoms, frames, and home pivot to give you excellent plowing performance. And they cost less than rollover plows. Now you can handle more two-way plows without needing more horsepower. See the new 975 4 and 5 bottom and 995 two-way plows at Henry Farm Centers, Abbeville, Dothan, and Pike County and Brundage, your John Deere dealers.
Hi, I'm Kip Hardy, and our Ray Hall Toyota certified pre-owned vehicles all come fully inspected with written warranty, 6-year, 100,000 miles, 24-hour roadside assistance, and new car financing. We carry a great selection of pre-owned vehicles for $199 a month, as well as luxury vehicles, vans, full-size trucks, sports utility vehicles. We've got it all at Ray Hall Toyota Select, next to Ray Hall Toyota on the Circle, Dothan, Alabama.
At Dothan Livestock yesterday, butcher bulls selling up to 43 cents a pound, butcher cows 35, bred cows 40, cow-calf pairs 5.30, calves 65 up to $1.08. Butcher cows and bulls $1 to $2 higher. Calves and feeder cattle steady to strong. Market very active and demand good at Dothan Livestock yesterday. Coming up this Friday, December 4th, 9:30 a.m., a partial dispersion at auction of the Valley Construction and Valley Farms, Ponce de Leon, Florida. Take I-10 to Ponce de Leon, exit Highway 81, go south 5 miles, the sales site on the right. Watch for the auction signs. And they'll be selling trucks, tractors, equipment, tools, inventory. Just contact Ed Neal at Dothan to Chipley Livestock for more information. Hog producers are getting somewhat riled up in countries other than the United States. We have reports here from 3 countries, France, Mexico, and the U.S. In France, where farmers seem to be more militant than in most countries, and they were demonstrating back when we were working on the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. We call it GATT. It's now known as the World Trade Organization. Farmers were blocking highways and dumping manure in public places and all sorts of things. So in France, both hog and cattle producers in France plan to stage separate protests. Hog farmers are seeking relief from 25-year low prices, while cattle producers oppose government plans to reform ag policy and cut support prices. About a dozen hogs are expected to greet the French President and the British Prime Minister Tony Blair when they arrive for a meeting at the resort town of St. Malo. About 500 hog farmers from across France are expected to show up, and try to hand a statement to French Prime Minister, Lionel Jospin, if I'm saying that right. The farmers seek a European-wide solution to low hog prices. French farmers have been protesting since September as hog prices have been cut in half, and they want immediate cash assistance. Meanwhile, about 3,000 cattle raisers plan to block roads in central France tomorrow. They're going to bring their cattle out to block the roads, but because of cold weather, they'll use their tractors instead of the cattle. Mexican hog farmers plan to continue lobbying their government to compensate for what they say are below market prices, below market price U.S. hog imports, despite lifting a blockage to prevent U.S. imports, Reuters News Service reports. Also, the U.S. National Pork Producers Council says it's disappointed about the blockade because the group considered Mexican producers allies and that low pork prices are frustrating hog growers worldwide. So the frustration continues with the very low hog prices. And the incoming governor of Iowa, probably the biggest hog state, unless it's North Carolina now with all this contract hog farming, thinks something smells funny in hog sales. He wants a federal investigation into why falling pork prices are not reflected in lower prices at the grocery store. All about hogs today. Because South Trust believes in their employees and the services they offer, everything they offer is backed by South Trust's unique service guarantee. South Trust has been serving the Wiregrass for almost 100 years and is committed to giving you the very best service any bank has to offer. South Trust has 12 branch locations and 9 ATMs in the area to serve you. Come by any South Trust office and experience the best service in the banking industry today.
At your hometown IGA store, Hometown Proud is more than a feeling, it's a way of life. It's why our store owners live and work in your hometown. Your hometown IGA appreciates each and every customer, and we work hard to make your shopping experience a pleasant one. Happy holidays from your hometown IGA. Your family will love a meal featuring lean and tender table-right T-bone steaks, only $3.99 a pound, and grade A large IGA eggs, 79 cents.
IGA.
The agriculture you may think about in Alabama is far from what we have today. And today's farmers are using that technology to make Alabama one of the top producing states in efficiency nationwide, which translates to a $5 billion industry. Just a little food for thought from the 21st century.
When you want a great deal and you don't want to travel all over the South, you need the power of bondage.
Nobody makes saving money easier. The power of Bondies has slashed the price of new Mustangs. Rebates up to $1,500. Interest rates as low as 0.9%. Powerful savings on Mustangs, Taurus, Contours, Escorts, Explorers, and Rangers.
Feel the power of saving only at Bondies.
Mr. Allen Isler again now from the Georgia Forestry Commission.
And my subject today is a hot topic of the month. We're talking about the Conservation Reserve Program. Most landowners know what this is. This is that program that was created in the early 80s or mid-80s where landowners or home landowners could get federal assistance from the U.S. government, which would pay them so much per acre per year on their land to put pine trees or basically put it into conservation use. Land enrolled in the program would be considered highly erodible land. This would be land that would be steep, rolling, had a lot of history of washing, and it also had to be have a cropping history. You know, and there's been a lot of changes in this program over the last few years. Last year it was totally restructured and they geared it more towards wildlife. And what I want to talk to a lot of landowners about today is the newest development in this program. The newest development is a priority area that has been listed for our area. And this priority area is the longleaf pine. This is the first time in the southeastern United States we've ever had a priority area. And what this simply means is now the U.S. government gives priority to southeastern United States for planting longleaf. And the reason why this is important is homeowners or landowners, that do no longer have to meet the erodibility criteria if they agree to plant longleaf pine. years past, you know, if you plant loblolly or slash or other pine species, land had to be highly erodible, and it still has to be highly erodible for those pine species. But if you are interested in planting longleaf pine, you can submit an application to your local USDA Farm Service Agency by December 11th for longleaf pine if it's not highly erodible land. That does not take into account anymore. And big kicker about all this is what interests a lot of landowners. On previous contracts, it was just a 10-year contract. Now, under longleaf pine, this is just with longleaf, you can get a 15-year contract. That's 15 years of annual payments. And one thing that we like to caution a lot of landowners with is, you know, longleaf pine is a good species, but it's a very temperamental species. You know, it's not for everybody. You know, we like for you, if you would, before you make any decision to try to plant longleaf pine on your property, to contact your county or state forester and get their advice and let them look at the land and see if it's even suitable for longleaf to start off with. You know, we have a lot of people just automatically put applications in because they want the 15-year payment, and the land may not be suitable to plant longleaf. So before you make any decisions, contact your state forester, you know, get some advice from him. You can also contact your local USDA Farm Service Agency or your Natural Resource Conservation Service for more information.
The old original native pine, longleaf, heart pine.
That's correct.
It's, if you get it going, it's
a little slower growing than some of the other species, and biggest problem we have is when I said temperamental is the fact that it's hard to get a good survival out of it when you plant it that first year. And there's a lot of things that you need to do just right to get a good survival. And that's one of the things where I stress that you need to contact your state forester to get it
But when it's up and growing, the native longleaf pine has a degree of toughness that some of these others do not have.
That's correct. A lot of people don't realize the longleaf pine is more insect resistant, it's more disease resistant, and the biggest factor is it's very fire resistant. The bark on it's a lot thicker than most other pine species, so it takes fire real well. As a matter of fact, we really call it a fire-dependent species, and that's one of the reasons why our area was listed as a priority area, because longleaf pine has dwindled in our area because of lack of on fire in our stands.
Alan Isler has been our guest from the Georgia Forestry Commission.
Barrow's Furniture at 109 East Lee Street is moving. That's right, our building has been sold, so we will consolidate our business at our Rucker Boulevard, Enterprise, and Dothan locations. In order to make room, we must liquidate as much inventory as possible in all 3 locations. Living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, sofas, recliners, and much more. We'd rather sell it than move it. So bring your trucks, trailers, or vans and take advantage of the lowest prices ever offered by Barrow. Hurry in now for best selection. Don't miss our gigantic $2 million moving sale now in progress at our downtown and Rucker Boulevard locations in Enterprise and Reed Street in Dothan.
Ringing in the Christmas season at Wiregrass Commons Mall. May the warmth and wonder of the season be with you all year round. Best wishes for this holiday season from the merchants of Wiregrass Commons Mall.
There's a new television station coming to your town this fall.
Welcome to America's fastest growing network.
Check out your old friends, some new friends, and more friends.
Ooh, that's interesting.
You won't want to miss it. 6 nights of Friends, Rosie in prime time, ER on the weekends, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Dawson's Creek. It'll be the hottest station in town. Alrighty then. Call 1-877-WB and get the WB.
Temperatures appear to be actually increasing this time of the year. This is very unusual. Maximum temperatures this afternoon, 77 to 78 degrees. We have no precipitation expected today. The lowest relative humidity, 47%. Winds variable at 4. Pan evaporation, 0.2 of an inch. Drying potential moderate. Tonight, the minimum temperature, 49 to 55. Heavy morning dew, drying around 10 a.m. Central Time. Maximum temperatures tomorrow, 73 to 77. Lowest relative humidity, 55, about 6 hours, which is 6% of possible sunshine. Winds from the southeast in the morning at 5 and variable at 4 in the afternoon. Pan evaporation dropping to 0.16 expected, and the drying potential moderate. We do not expect any rain this afternoon, tonight, or tomorrow, but Saturday through Monday, we could get some showers, and we could use some showers. this time of the year, this particular time. Today, pack of hogs in the southeast selling at 12 to 16 cents, $1 higher. Auction hogs at 12 to 16.90, that's steady to $2 higher. And it's good to see them going up a little if it could be consistent and get back to a profitable level. But these prices, sows 14.50 to 16.60. This is auctioned yesterday afternoon, of course, in the southeast now. Feeder steers 52 to $1.10. Slaughter cows, cattle, 29.50 to 38. Slaughter cows. In the Midwest, the close yesterday, finished slaughter steers and heifers, the steers 58 to 62.50, and slaughter heifers 57.50 to 62.50, uneven to steady. Slaughter cows at 30 to 36, steady to $1 per hundredweight higher. Bulls 39 to 43, bears and gilts 13.50 to 20, mostly steady to $1 higher. Moving to livestock futures, cattle, live cattle. These would be finished cattle, so many head. February 62.15, and that's down 95 cents. April 64.70, down 45. Feeder cattle, January 70.97.5, down 27. March 71.17.5, down 37. Lean hogs in February 54.60, down 70. April 53.77.5, down 22. Grain futures, corn for March, 227.25, down 1.25. May 235.25, down 1. Soybeans, January 587.75, up 5.75. March at 597.75, up 6. Wheat, March 289.75, up 1/4. May at 299.75, unchanged. Oats, March $1.15.25, down 1/2. May $1.19.75, down 1. And cotton futures in March, 64.65, up 70. May 65.25, up 65. There's a little footnote to the hog prices that we keep talking about, and of course our main news features today were protests from hog producers in the United States, Canada, and France. Would be that this is an excellent opportunity, and we can give you a telephone number if you like, to buy a hog to put into your freezer, because you can get very, very economical pork this way. We are concerned that the prices, as expressed in the news release, have not come down in the markets, but that often happens, does not happen with farm products. Just because a farmer takes less for a particular product doesn't mean that it's coming down at the market when you go to buy it at retail, because, yeah.
This has been the Noon Farm Report with Gene Ragan.
Hi, I'm Mike Schmitz, and this is Emery Foster with Ray Hall Schmitz Buick, and right now is the best time for you to buy your new 98 Buick.
Try the Buick Park Avenue, one of the best cars on the market, with $3,000 rebates on 98s.
Save over $10,000 from the competition, have interest rates as low as 3.9, and rebates up to $2,000. Come to Ray Hall Schmitz Buick in beautiful downtown Dothan. Well, Emery, I bought you a new hat.
How much did you spend on this hat?
All Christmas decorations at Grandpa's Attic are 50 to 75% off. You heard it right, 50 to 75% off. Choose from over 1,000 tree ornaments by Department 56 in Midwest Imports. Silk trees, wreaths, garland, manger scenes, angels, old world Santas, the list goes on and on. All 50 to 75% off, and at these prices, they won't last long. Grandpa's Attic's Christmas sale, 50 to 75% off, located on 231 North, across from Wiregrass Commons Mall.
News for your hometown. WTVY's News 4 at 5.
Log on to CBS.com and vote for your favorite People's Choice and watch for the winners in January.